Hello, everyone, man. I hope everybody out there doing good. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Terry Flower Show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Well, we are here today to review Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 7, Episode 1. So first, they go ahead and give us a brief recap of everything that happened before they went on their little hiatus. All right. And the last thing I remember was when Stormy told doggone Tisha, get active then. Well, get active. Child, that just... I'm sorry, honey, but that took me out. Okay. Tisha, they're trying to defend knock need, but you know what I call them? Knock needed, the knock need and the delusional. Okay, but whatever, honey. We're going to go ahead and get into this episode. So the episode starts off with a news clip of the Popo looking for Kiki. They said that Kiki stole out the store. She almost ran into somebody else's car trying to get up out of there all quickly and stuff. Honey, and I was like, now why would Kiki be stealing locks? You know, that was confusing me. Like, people be stealing, but I ain't never known nobody to be out here stealing locks. I'm like, now wait a minute. But whatever, honey, we gonna keep it going. So in the first scene, we see Mel coming over to Tiffany's house. Tiffany got the baby all up on her chest, getting some milk and stuff. I said, oh, look at the little baby. I said, all right, Tiffany, we gonna see how you do now that you got your baby. Child. This woman was being messy as hell with the baby on the tit. But whatever, honey. Mel, come in there and sit down. Tiffany brings up the whole situation that's going on with Kiki. So what are we going to do about our brands? Ma'am, what are you talking about, ma'am? Our brands, ma'am. I'm still confused at what you do for a living. I still don't know. I am still confused and lost upon that. Now, I did love the fact that Mel paid her absolute dust. Mel seen the setup a mile away. Mel was like, oh, I see what you trying to do. You want me to say something messed up so you can go back and run it back. I already know that game, sweetie. Good job, Mel, clocking that real early. Mel say Kiki innocent until proven guilty. Period. Okay? In the next scene, we see Courtney, Stormy's husband, pulling up to Black, honey. Because you already know, like how Stormy had told him, you don't want to see Courtney, okay? Well, Courtney up there at Black to come confront him about this situation. Now, Marceau with his not needed self in the doggone confessional telling him, yeah, Stormy's attack on me. That woman didn't attack you, honey. You came and asked her for $100. That was so unprofessional. You did not mention that in the meeting at all. Then you came and come to find out, I think she was the only person you asked for the $100. Sir, with your not needed self. Stop it, okay? But we're going to see how you handle this, honey. So when Courtney gets in the building, he sits down, Marceau trying to make friendly, talking about, oh, you want something to drink? Courtney was like, nah, I just want some water. So Courtney said, well, how was the Black Expo? Or whatever. Yeah, Marceau, oh, it was good. We got a lot of good reviews and everything like that. Courtney like, oh, okay. So, everybody had to pay their $100. And here go Marceau trying to be messy. Well, everybody except one person paid their $100. So then they go forward into the back and forth conversation of, did everybody pay $100? Why didn't you make it clear that $100 was due before people come and set up? Which is right, because that's professional. If some money got to be paid before the event even happened, the people that have to make these type of payments, they're supposed to be aware of this. Marceau Thomas, oh, it's on the World Wide Web. I'm like, Marceau's so full of shit, but whatever. Courtney just called him right out. Courtney say, why you always coming at women? Facts. And I didn't like the fact that Marceau was like, because Courtney was like, yeah, how you came at my wife or whatever like that. And Marceau was like, oh, that's what you heard. And then Courtney say, that's what I know. Right. Everybody don't operate in their marriage like how you and Tisha do, honey. Courtney knew when his wife came and brought that to him, he knew his wife ain't bring him no BS. What are you talking about? That's what he knew. Okay, so Courtney just went ahead and checked Marceau. Why is you always getting in women's business? You always coming at the women. And he like, well, the Black Expo, that was my business, And Courtney like, bro, you could have had your wife come to my wife and tell her about the $100. It didn't have to be you. And you know the way that you did it because you pissed her off. Marceau trying to play these little mind games that he loves to play with people. Oh, it's weird to me that a man that is in the business of selling women hair would come and tell me not to be in women's business. Boy, you know that ain't what he talking about. Quit playing games. But it was real player how Courtney got up. Courtney said, you know what? That $100 you say we owe you, he put down the $100 and gave a tip to the bartender. I say, you better run it. He said, and don't give it to him. That's hers. And walked out, honey. I was hollering because Marsau be being an a-hole for absolutely no reason. For real. And Courtney wasn't lying. He do like to come at women. That's like his little thing that he likes to do. And it's ridiculous. We gonna see if it get checked this season. But anyway, honey, we gonna get going. In the next scene, we see Kimmy coming over to Tisha's house. Tisha and Marsau done moved again. They stay moving. Somebody tell me what's going on there. Kimmy was asking Tisha, do you have any type of timelines on anything? Because, child, they've been trying to build this house since we met them. Okay? And doggone Tisha lets Kimmy know that no, she don't have no timeline on anything. Kimmy says, you a better woman than me. And I'm like, Kimmy, you my girl. You is my fave. But the more and more I watch this show, no, I don't think she a better woman than you. I think y'all the same woman. The more I watch we gonna go move on. But anyway, child, we did get some good news out of this scene. We found out that Kimmy is completely done with all of her treatments. I'm like, you better go, girl. I'm very happy for Kimmy because that was a big shock when she was going through that cancer scare. I'm so glad that she got past all of that. She had to go through chemo. She done got through all of that. I'm really happy for Kimmy. And baby, we happy to hear that you're doing a lot better. Kimmy brings up the whole little sit down they had where it was Kimmy, Tisha, Stormy, and Tiffany. And Tisha gets in her confessional. She was like, I'm just so glad that this is just a meet up with me and Kimmy or whatever like that. And I'm like, Tisha, as beautiful as you are, baby, you are delulu. Okay, very delusional, honey. Because I remember in that scene when your husband was finna ask that girl for that $100, you didn't agree with it either. So for you to flip-flop, I understand standing by your man. But, honey, right is right and wrong is wrong, honey. Like, come on now, sweetie. You got to have your own common sense. Period. But hey, people do what they want to do. We don't know these people. Some people let their husband lead them right on to hell. And that ain't none of my business. Okay, we're going to go and move on. So Tisha brings up the fact that Tiffany was upset because she felt like the Whitlows weren't included. And Tisha was like, well, I did reach out to her. I called her and she told me that if I needed anything to let her know. And Tisha also brings up the point that I spoke about earlier. She said, I still don't know what Tiffany do. Kimmy say, child, somebody could offer me $1,000, honey, and I would miss out on that money because I don't know what Tiffany do either. What I told y'all, I still don't know what this woman do. So what you talking about? What we're gonna do about our brands? Brands, ma'am? What do you do for a living? Whatever. We gonna keep on going. Then Tisha and Kimmy bring up Stormy, and she was just like, she don't know where Stormy energy is coming from. And it's like, girl, get out of here. You know where that girl energy coming from. Your man came at her absolutely wrong. We're gonna skip past that. Then they get on Kiki and talking about how Kiki was on Crime Stoppers, and Tisha was like, I hope she ain't back on pills. And I'm like, Tisha, all of this could be solved with you just calling your cousin. I don't know why. I hope everything is okay, and I hope she taking care of herself. And she got her confessional. Kiki needs to focus on taking care of herself. Well, baby, you need to focus on the fact that you could have told Kimmy, girl, I don't know what's going on. I ain't talked to her yet, so when I talk to her, honey, I can let you know. Done. How in the hell Mel handled herself better concerning your cousin than you did? Child, this shit a fool. We gonna keep going. So they in that scene with Tisha basically saying that she don't know if she gonna reach out to these girls or whatever like that, any of them. So I'm guessing she including her cousin too. Girl, whatever. Anyway, we move on to the next scene where we meet up with Martell. He's sitting at his desk with all these papers and stuff on his desk. And I be like, Martell, what the hell do you actually be doing? Okay, because you all got all this paperwork here damn well, but ain't got nothing going on. Anywho, so Chris Fletcher rings the doorbell. Martell goes to the doorbell or whatever, goes to the door. I'm talking about doorbell, child. He goes to the door to let Chris Fletcher in, but before he let him in, he like, hey man, you got any little booties you can put on your foot or something? You a realtor. You should have some type of booties. Just don't be coming to people's house with your shoes on or whatever. And Chris Fletcher like, nigga, I ain't taking off my shoes. You crazy. You know what I'm saying? Now for this, I ain't mad at Martell because everybody don't like you wearing shoes in their house. It brings in a lot of germs. So if people don't want you wearing your shoes, try to take the goddamn shoes off. Or stand outside, one or the other. It's fine. Whatever. Moving on. So Chris Fletcher come on in the house. Him and Martell sit down. Martell like, how the family doing? He like, yeah, we doing pretty good. Whatever. But let's get to this. Last time I spoke to you was when you subpoenaed me and my wife. Martell was like, oh yeah. I said, Martell. Martell be so full of it, like he's shocked. You know that was the last time you talked to that doggone man. But anyway, Chris Fletcher say, that was effed up because by you subpoena, girl, say that 3 times in a row. Anyway, by you doing that, it makes it looks like we're on one side when the truth of the matter is we're still friends with you and we're still friends with Mel. Then Chris Fletcher goes into the conversation of, basically, you need to be out this house, right? And he was like, Martell was like, yeah, act like he confused, like he don't know. And he tells him, yeah, man, you gave me 30 days. And Chris Fletcher was like, well, how many days it's been? About 40 days. Chris Fletcher said, well, this house been on the market for like 8 months. And he was like, I thought you couldn't close until I move out. See, that's why I said when this scene first started, I said Martell be having all them goddamn papers on his desk, but ain't got a damn thing going on. Whatever, child. Chris Fletcher lets us know in his confessional that he feels like Martell is trying to take advantage of his friendship. Since he is the realtor, he's thinking that Chris Fletcher is going to be able to give him some type of special privileges because they're friends. When at the end of the day, if these people want Martell out of their house, he need to get out of their house because he is on a month-to-month lease. And I'm like, Chris Fletcher, I don't understand how you didn't know Martell was going to try to use your friendship to his advantage. He did the same thing with his marriage. He does this in all situations, honey. Okay, keep up. All right. Child, Martell and Chris Fletcher get to going back and forth and all of this mess. Chris Fletcher letting him know, hey, I have to make sure I complete my duties to the owners of this house because I got to sell their house. The house is under contract. Martell, but sitting up at time, as a friend, how do you expect me to find a place in 30 days? And when I asked you about properties, you couldn't find one. How do you expect me to find a place for me and my kids in 30 days as a friend? And it's like, Martell, as a man, okay, as a man, that is your responsibility to find a home for you and your children, sir. Quit laying that responsibility upon this man's shoulders. That is not his responsibility. His responsibility is to his company and to his damn family. Now, he can look out for you as much as he can as a friend, but all this pressure you trying to apply is too much. Okay? And he told me, so, well, see if the people will give me like 30 days. Well, no, he said, can they give me 90 days? Chris Fletcher say 2 weeks. I said, well, damn. Again, I say, all them damn papers on that desk, not doing nothing. Sitting there ain't doing a damn thing with all the papers on his desk. He always trying to look busy. Child, he get on my damn nerves. Moving on. The last thing I want to say before we go to the next scene, child, in the back and forth between Martell and Chris Fletcher, Martell like, oh, they can't kick me out. Oh, they gonna come put me out the house? I'm like, Martell, honey, wasn't you in the business of building houses and all of that stuff with Mel? That goes to show right there who was really running that business. Because how in the hell you don't know that these people could come kick you out their house? Child of fool. Anyway, next scene. In the next scene, we meet up with my girl Kimmy and Maurice. They're racing on their little bikes and all this good stuff or whatever like that. So at the end of the race, they stop and they start talking. And Kimmy lets us know the reason why they're outside and doing all this good stuff or whatever is because her doctor told her one of the ways to push away some of that tiredness is by her going outside working out. So that's what they're doing. Anyway, they go into having a conversation about how she met up with Tisha, and her and Tisha had a bunch of conversations about everything that went on between Tisha, Tiffany, and Stormy. Then Kimmy lets us know that she also did not agree with Marceau coming at Stormy about the $100. And then that's when Maurice lets her know, oh, we paid too. Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. The look on Kimmy's face looked like Maurice was lying. But we gonna keep going. Based off of what Maurice said, he says that they also paid $100 too. But then Kimmy let him know that at first he was letting everybody in for free. He didn't start charging them $100 until it was so many people. And then he said, oh, the cost changed. And Kimmy said, I'm trying to figure out how the cost changed because we didn't change buildings and we didn't have no food. And Maurice was like, well, and on top of that, if we paid $100 and he wanted them to pay $100, the fact that we paid, why didn't we have a bigger space like what Stormy them had? Child of food. Then Kimmy goes on to mention something about Tiffany's baby shower, well, not baby shower, whatever, I don't know, whatever the hell this is that Tiffany throwing, child, and I invited everybody to. So she mentions that, and then she goes on to mention about she went to the Yoni store and stuff like that. She's trying to build back up her libido, because her and Maurice ain't really been able to be sexually actually active. I don't know if I can say that on here. Whatever, like how they want to be. Well, how he wants them to be. Or whatever. Maurice goes into telling Kimmy that the reason why her libido is low is a mental thing. She starts to explain to him, no, the reason why I'm feeling this way is because of the medication I was on, and he like, oh no, it's more of a mental thing. And he goes back and forth with her, like really blaming her, like it's a mental block with her, the reason why she ain't doing it, why she can't get into it. And she was like, well, you told me you don't want me faking it, so that's the reason why I'm trying these different options so I can be aroused. You know what I mean? And when I tell you, Maurice, make my goddamn skin crawl. Cause honey, the conversation that he having with this woman, you wouldn't even think he talking to a woman that just beat cancer. I said the disrespect is high, okay? Is very high, because why is you putting all this pressure on this woman to have sex with you, sir? This woman just beat cancer. Enjoy life with your woman, bruh, because you could have lost her, and you putting all this pressure on her to hurt. Oh, he made me sick, child. Let's move on. Maurice goes into asking Kimmy about a time frame, and she's explaining to him that these medications and stuff, they can affect different people's body in different ways. And she was like, this process could take up to a year. And he like, oh, let me set my time to it. Just being real insensitive to this woman. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, this is ridiculous, man. If you love this woman the way that you say you love her, you should be happy the fact that you able to still look her in her eyes, and you ain't have to look at her in no casket, bro. What she went through is very serious. And I'm just, Kimmy, baby, Kimmy, Lord, baby, you telling Tisha she a better woman than you, baby. You a better woman than me, because baby, the cussing out I would have gave that man. Oh Lord, when I tell you I would have embarrassed that man on TV, okay, but we gonna keep on moving. In the next scene, we meet up with Stormy and her husband, honey. So they meet up at the warehouse. Stormy in there fulfilling orders and all of that good stuff. So Courtney lets her know that he went up there to meet up with Marceau about the situation. And Stormy was like, I didn't even know you was mad. And he told her, he was like, I wasn't mad, but at the same time, you ain't finna be coming saying anything you want to my wife. So she was like, well, what happened? He was like, yeah, I just pulled up the black or whatever. And she was like, the whole thing he's talking about is he likes to make sure he handle his business, whether it's through a female or through a male or whatever like that. And Courtney was just like, he lame, and he is, you know what I'm saying? He lame and not needed, child, he is. So basically they wrapped that little part of the conversation up just by saying, that Tisha initially, she was agreeing with Stormy, but after Marceau went over there and stood by her, and we know what Marceau told her. He told her, don't you be disagreeing with me. Then Tisha started to act a little different or whatever like that. Fine. Then she brings up the fact that Tiffany asked her to help plan the baby reveal, and she was like, do you think all the ladies gonna come? And Courtney was like, I don't know. And she was like, well, I don't think Kiki gonna be invited. And he was like, well, why Kiki ain't gonna be invited? I thought that was Tisha's cousin. And she was like, you ain't heard about what's going on with Kiki? It was on Huntsville News, honey. Have you seen this woman? So child, a mess. So Courtney and Stormy just basically come to the same conclusion that Mel came to: innocent until proven guilty. Once again, it just goes to show how Mel, Stormy, how these different people were able to look at the situation concerning Kiki with more of, with more compassion than Tisha. And that's Tisha's cousin. Child, whatever, moving on. In the next scene, we meet up with Mel, and guess what Mel at? Mel at Kiki house, honey. See, this what the hell Tisha was supposed to be doing. We were supposed to get a scene of Tisha going to her cousin's house to figure out what the hell is going on, but child, whatever, that's neither here nor there. We're gonna go ahead and move on. So Mel and Kiki sit down and get to talking, and Kiki lets Mel know that she recently got out of the hospital. She went to the hospital 2 times in a week because she was having major issues with her back. Then she goes into telling Mel about the different, ventures and stuff that she want to get into. She just talking, and they clipping and editing the scene like Kiki was talking for 80 hours. Only thing I was sitting there thinking about is, girl, what's going on with this Crime Stoppers, girl? Now, I know you done seen your stuff on the news now. Goodness. So Mel finally go ahead and let Kiki know, hey, everybody in the streets been sending me videos and all of this stuff about the Crime Stoppers. She just go ahead and ask her about it. They don't give us a chance to hear what Kiki's response is. However, they do put a disclaimer up at the end of the episode that as of the airing of the show, ain't no charges been filed against Kiki. So I'm like, girl, did Kiki really steal anything? Because you ain't finna sit up here and tell me. Because Huntsville ain't that big, honey. Okay. She is not hard to find, okay? So if they was really looking for her, they would have been took her in. So it's like, okay, did this girl really steal something? Like, what's really going on? Anyway, child, we'll find out on the next episode. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Terry Flower Show, and I hope everybody have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you tell me how you felt about the episode. Anyway, I'll see you down there in the comments, child. All right, now, peace.